there's no end in sight for the federal government shutdown. That's where we're starting the 7 from the Washington Post. I'm Hannah Jewell. It's Thursday, October 2nd. Let's get you caught up with today's 7 stories. The Senate yesterday once again rejected proposals to extend federal funding. That means that hundreds of thousands of federal workers will remain furloughed, and some government agencies are still effectively closed. For how long? I'm not placing any bets. Both parties are publicly standing their ground on positions they've held for weeks. Most Senate Democrats say they won't vote to reopen the government until Republicans agree to extend healthcare subsidies. Those are set to expire at the end of this year. Republicans say they are unwilling to negotiate on policy until the government is funded. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has begun canceling or withholding funding for projects in Democrat-led states. And earlier this week, he posted a fake AI-generated video of Democratic lawmakers. It included House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries in a sombrero. Jeffries responded on Tuesday.
Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
Yesterday, Vice President J.D. Vance dismissed criticism of the video.
I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop.
The fake video was playing on a loop outside the White House briefing room yesterday. Number 2 is a Post exclusive. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is ramping up his war on leakers. According to documents obtained by the Post and people familiar with the proposal, the Pentagon is working on a new strategy to crack down on its own officials. It's planning to impose strict non-disclosure agreements and random lie detector testing for thousands of people in its headquarters. That includes many top officials. This is an escalation in Hegseth's war on leakers and internal dissent. The Trump administration is trying to ferret out officials deemed insufficiently loyal or who provide information to reporters. The Pentagon pushed back on the Post's reporting. Number 3. The White House fired much of the National Council for the Humanities. This council is a board of 26 scholars and humanities leaders appointed by presidents to 6-year terms. They advise the chair of the National Endowment for the Humanities on grant-making, policy, and funding decisions around the country. Yesterday, much of the board was abruptly fired. Only 4 members remain. They are all Trump appointees and all white men. One member who was fired told the Post, "We now have a council that does not reflect all Americans." A White House spokesperson said in an email that the president is hoping to place members on the board who align more closely with his vision. Number 4. Israel intercepted a Gaza aid flotilla and detained activist Greta Thunberg. The Global Samud Flotilla is a convoy of more than 40 ships carrying aid attempting to break Israel's blockade of Gaza. It was carrying about 500 participants, including lawmakers, lawyers, and human rights advocates. As of this morning, the boats were intercepted and those on board were detained by Israel. That's according to the convoy's organizers. The exact numbers of those detained is unclear at the time of this recording. Swedish climate campaigner Greta Thunberg was among them. Meanwhile, in Gaza, Israel is intensifying its assault on Gaza City as Hamas considers whether to accept Trump's new plan to end the war. Chimpanzee expert and environmental campaigner Jane Goodall has died at 91. That's number 5. From a young age, Goodall was fascinated by the natural world. As a child in the south of England, she kept a small zoo of pets, including caterpillars, racing snails, and guinea pigs. But her career in animal research had an unlikely start. She didn't go to college because she couldn't afford it, and ended up doing secretarial work. After visiting a friend in Kenya, though, she met the paleoanthropologist Louis Leakey, who ended up asking her to observe chimpanzees. It was the start of a career that would last over half a century. Goodall rose to global fame, drawing attention to the plight of dwindling chimpanzee populations, and she traveled the world to raise awareness of environmental destruction. Here she is in 2015.
Gradually, as more and more people studied animals out in the field, people began to realize that so many animals are so much more intelligent than we ever used to think.
Her legacy is carried on by the Jane Goodall Institute, which runs community-centered programs across Africa. Number 6. Large parts of the U.S. are expected to get some warm weather in October. This unusual warmth is partly due to a record-breaking marine heat wave in the North Pacific. That will bring a surge of summer-like weather to areas around Omaha and Minneapolis, through to Chicago and Detroit. Temperatures will soar well into the 80s, and then the warmth is forecasted to spread eastward. In the middle part of next week, the highest temperatures could exceed 80 degrees in 45 states. So you may have to put those cozy fall flannels back into the closet for now. And at number 7, a new study explored why a 117-year-old woman lived for so long. Maria Brañas Morera's life was simple. She enjoyed books, friends, playing the piano, dogs, and sleep. But her lifespan was remarkable. When she died last year, she was 117 and still in relatively good health. She was the oldest person on Earth. A new study provides some intriguing clues as to why she lived so long. The findings suggest that Morera won the genetics lottery. Her genome included variants previously linked to long lifespans, but also some that, until now, weren't known to contribute to longevity. Her genetics don't explain everything, though. Her diet also played a large role. She ate 3 plain yogurts a day and otherwise followed a typical Mediterranean diet. She also walked often and was a keen gardener. You can learn more about the findings from the study in our newsletter today. It might just help you to live longer, or convince you to eat more yogurt. Alright, you're all caught up. But there's so much more we don't have time to bring you each morning. Luckily, we also have a newsletter. It includes links to all the stories I talk about here on the podcast, and the ones I don't. You can find the newsletter and a link to sign up for it in the show notes. That's like the info page for wherever you're listening. Or just Google the 7 Morning Briefing. I'm Hannah Jewell. I'll meet you back here tomorrow.